Do you ever feel stuck, like you're living your life on autopilot? Are you ready to shift into high gear and reach the success you so richly deserve? Welcome to the Play Big Movement podcast. I am your host, Sharon Lechter, entrepreneur, business strategist, and best-selling author. Playing big is not about settling for good enough or being comfortable. It is about reaching your highest potential and achieving your greatest success. Join me in my Play Big movement as I interview top experts in business, money, and entrepreneurship, all ready to serve you and to help you play big, be number one in your field, live your legacy, and create maximum impact. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this segment of the Play Big Movement podcast with Sharon Lechter. I'm your host. And as you know, I love bringing incredible people to talk to them about playing a bigger game. And this one is even more important because it's really a spiritual game and it's really reaching out and touching people's hearts. And I'm just so thrilled to have the opportunity to speak with Melva Henderson. Melva, thank you so much for taking your time today.
Sharon, I don't even have the words to share how excited I am and grateful to be with you on today's podcast. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you are absolutely beautiful. And I'm so, look at that smile. It's just incredible.
Thank you.
And you have so many different things you're involved in. You have the Henderson House Publishing and Bookstore. You've been a minister for many years. You're vice president at the World Outreach Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I'm so excited to be coming to speak to your group because we lived in Milwaukee for 7 years before we moved to Arizona. So it's
know.
Yes, when coming home.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
We lived in Shorewood, and some of our dearest friends are people we met when we were there. I loved Wisconsin, but the weather didn't love me.
So. I know. Last couple of days it was 85, and then yesterday it was snowing. So it's ridiculous here. It's ridiculous, but it's so good to know that you are from Milwaukee. And in fact, when I shared that with my team, you got a standing ovation. So
wonderful. I love it. I love standing ovations.
That's excited. Yes.
Well, we're going to have a lot of fun when we're together. I'm going to have you speak about that. But I really want to talk about Melva right now because you just are such an incredible example and a role model for other women, and particularly those that aspire to be you. And I'm just so excited to share your story. So I always ask people to start. Tell me a little bit about little Melva. How did you get started and how did you find your purpose?
That's a wonderful question. You know, little Melva, I often think about little Melva, but I was born and raised on 13th and Burleigh in what's today coined as one of the worst zip codes in the nation, 53206 in Milwaukee. And you know that area very well if you lived in Shorewood. And was raised by my grandmother. And just my life took a lot of twists and turns. I became a single mom at the age of 19 years old and found myself on welfare, trying to find my way in life. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have anybody speaking into my life and giving me direction. And so, one day I was watching television and stumbled upon a teaching where they were talking about, you are important. I believe it was Gloria Copeland. And it was just a message that came in my life at a time when I really needed it. And so it was, you are an overcomer is what it was called. And I didn't feel like an overcomer at the time, a single mom, 2 kids. I had to lay aside my passions to be in business and go to school. I had to lay all of that aside to pay attention to my twins because I was a mother of twins. And so from there, listening to the teaching about me being an overcomer, I just began to dive into information about a better life, living a better life, living a higher life. And just started reading and got my hands on anything I could get my hands on, The Search for Significance and all of these different books. And that began this journey of change in my life. And so it was information that came to me that changed my life. And consequently, one day I walked into the welfare office, took that welfare check, laid it down on that social worker's life and said, this is the last check that I will ever receive from you, because I had secured a position with the telephone company and I was there for 17 years. But my life was on a trajectory that was just going up. And it wasn't a quick rise, it was a slow rise. But along that journey, I learned so much about enduring, perseverance, patience, and just who Melva was. And so I'm proud today to be a woman that's married. Now I've had 4 children. I've been married almost 30 years to the same wonderful man. I've got 4 grandchildren. I'm 60 years old, and so I've been through a lot, but I thank God for every journey that I've been on, because it really has made me the woman that I am. So
I love it. I love it. And you're such a beautiful example. And what you did was you made the commitment at some point in your life that you were going to bring other people along with you and turn into the ministry and turn into the mentor that you didn't have growing up. So talk a little bit about that transition.
absolutely. It's amazing when people begin to see you rise. There's a question that they were often posing to me: what are you doing differently? And one of the things that I was doing differently, one, I was getting grounded in my faith. That was the first thing that I was doing. And the second thing is I got myself in position where I could be educated. And so as I was being educated, I was implementing what I was learning. It wasn't just me taking a bunch of head knowledge and walking around with a lot of knowledge, but I knew that if I wanted my life to change, it was going to require action. And so I would just take people into the things that I was doing. And so I started bringing young women around me, and, just particularly women that were not married, the unmarried mothers. I started bringing them around me and just mentoring them and helping them and taking them on the journey and explaining to them that they were overcomers. And it's been from that place that I've continued to just pour into women and pour into married women, unmarried women, single moms. I really have a heart for single moms because I was one. And so I've done different things, from doing mentoring groups to training and developing and all of that. And that has been my life's work. So, yeah.
I just love it. And you created a group that grew quite large, and then the pandemic hit, and you persevered, and their group is still alive and well, and you're having a live event again. So tell us a little bit about the group that you have.
Well, Women in Worship actually started before the pandemic. And in 2007, I was approached by several of my friends, and they kept talking about how do you balance? How do you balance it all? It was just became the resounding theme. How do I balance my life and do all that I'm doing? I'm tired, I'm fatigued. And so I thought, what if I brought a group of women together? And I called it 100 Women in Worship. But I wanted to bring women together for 3 reasons: prayer and meditation, gathering around God's word, and then fellowship. And so worship, prayer, we were just going to do those things. We're going to come in jeans, t-shirts. We're going to lay our lives down, leave the kids at home, leave the business, leave the careers, and just come in our jeans and t-shirts and just be girls for the weekend. Well, I thought it was going to be 100. I had over 200 women that showed up, and we were together for the entire weekend. And that one event just continued to grow and evolve. And, right before the pandemic, we were hosting for the entire weekend close to 2,000 women. Of course, the pandemic is hitting, scaled things back, but yeah, we're growing again. And this year we're anticipating 500 to 700 women. And so I'm excited about the idea that you will get to come, and share your heart and give us an education, if you will, in ways that we can make our lives better. And so I'm excited. It's called Women in Worship. And this year we're putting a spin on it: Women in Wealth. And so, yeah, that's what's going on.
Yep, women in wealth and worship, and you can do both. That's like, a lot of people think you can't be spiritual and religious and be wealthy, and that's what we're going to shift that paradigm, because you can do more. The better you do, the more people you can help, and I just think that that's such an important thing for people to see. Get rid of that scarcity mindset, and
Yeah.
we're going to be working on that when we're together. So.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Milwaukee was at one time, the first time that we had done Women in Worship, it was listed as the fourth most impoverished big city in the nation. And I wanted to do something about that. I wanted to change that narrative about our city. And so we have just been on a mission to get women, whether it's one a year, two a year, three a year, it didn't matter to us. We have just been on a mission to change the lives of women in this city. And it's working. It's
I
working.
love it. I just love it. And certainly you can just feel your power and your grace and your love. So I just want to acknowledge the fact we need. I grew up with the father would ask me each night, have you added value to someone's life today? And that's something that has stuck with me. And I think
Wow.
if more people in the world would focus on adding value to other people's lives, I think we'd be having a little different world, certainly a different Milwaukee, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love what you said in one of the podcasts that you had done. I was the one in July of 2022 where you were talking about you don't want to just make a living, you want to make a life. And just bringing people into that understanding that there is life for your living. You want to live, you don't just want to exist every day, but you want to do the things that will take your life up so that you can really become someone that can make a difference in the lives of somebody else. So I love that question that your dad posed to you. How have you added value to somebody else's life? That's what we're about every day, looking to add value to somebody's life. So, yeah.
And you are a shining example of a concept that's the last chapter in Think and Grow Rich for Women called One Big Life. So many people complain and worry about work-life balance, and I try to dispel that because that's just a unnecessary stress in women's minds. And we
Yeah.
say, we all have our spiritual life, we have our faith, our fitness, our finance, we have our family, we have our friends, we have our field, which is our business, and
Right.
we have fun. All those things work together to create one big life. And
Absolutely.
so we need to focus on each aspect of our life because I think specifically as it relates to faith and trust in God, that's something that we really need to heighten again because a lot of people have walked away from that faith. We need to bring them back in.
Yes, I so agree because I believe that our faith is our foundation. It's the root system from which everything else in our lives evolves from. And then thinking about the women and people trying to bring balance. I don't like that word either. How am I going to balance the children, the groceries, the laundry, the job, the career, the workout and my faith? How do I balance that? Well, in my mind, I'm not looking for balance. I'm looking for harmony. How do I get it all to harmonize? Because on one day, one thing in my life is going to require more than something else. So there'll never be a balance. I just have to be okay with what I can make harmonize in my life today. Today,
Oh, we're
what's
singing the
needed?
same song, Melva.
Yeah, what do I need today? What's needed for my children, my grandchildren, my family, my business, my ministry? What's needed there today? It may not be needed tomorrow. And so today, if I can bring solution, if I think I can bring wisdom and strength to what's needed for me today, that's all I'm thinking about because I don't get grace for tomorrow. I don't get grace for yesterday. I only get grace for today. And so give me this day my daily bread. What do I need for today to make today the best that it can be? That's all I'm interested in. The other
That's
stuff, the stress, oh my goodness, it's too much. And so today I'm going to be the best.
I love that. Such a powerful thought. And so many of us do. We live in the past or we live in the future. And I talk about my definition of the word worry is to pray for what you don't want. And so many of us, we stay in a place of fear, not faith. And that's
Yeah,
my mission is to get people to understand, take that fear and turn it into energy and focus and refine your faith in yourself and what you're doing. And so I think we're going to have a lot of fun together. Tell us a
awesome.
little bit more about how people can find you and certainly how they can find more information about the event.
Absolutely. You can go to melvahenderson.org or you can go to worldoutreachbtc.org. I'm all over the internet and different things, constantly adding value to people's lives. But you can go to melvahenderson.org. I'm on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm out there. And if you're interested in Women in Worship and coming to hear Sharon on June 3rd, that's the day that she's going to be speaking, you can go to melvahenderson.org and get registered, because it is going to be an amazing weekend. An amazing weekend.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to coming back to Milwaukee as well,
Mhm.
supporting you and your initiative. And I just, we're there to really elevate everybody in the room to the position of greatest potential. And
Mhm.
as I tell people, everyone has what they need to be successful. They
Mhm.
just have to unlock it. And
Absolutely.
we're going to be there with a few keys to help people unlock their own potential. So
Yeah. Well, I'm excited because it's important. I was thinking about, when I was thinking about inviting you, Sharon, I was thinking, what is it that I know that Sharon's going to bring? And I know she's going to do for them what she's done for me. And that was empowering me. And that was helping me understand that this is more than just me coming and learning something, but it's really me being in position to change the lives of my family for generations. And I hear you talk often about the importance of that financial education. And when you are working with people who have that scarcity and that poverty mindset, sometimes it's very hard to get them to see that there is another way of life, there's another way of living. And the whole purpose of bringing you in was, one, because I believe in your message. And I know what you have done in my life and how you've spoken into my life. It's amazing how you don't even know people, but if you're in your purpose and you're walking out your purpose, that God will make sure that your message gets to the people that need it. And your message came into my life at a time where I was, just trying to figure things out. And so now to be able to platform you and introduce you to women that may not even know who you are. There's a lot of them that do, but there's a lot that don't know who you are. And to be able to hear your message and take advantage of the things that you're offering, I think it's just going to be a game changer for the lives of many women. I have an expectation that these women, it's going to change their lives. It's going to change their children's lives. It's going to change their children's children's lives. And so, yeah.
and that's truly legacy building. People think about legacy as financial, but legacy, I could talk about legacy is created every day with every heart you touch.
Oh, that's so
And
good.
certainly you have created quite the legacy already, and continue on your purpose to help other people and to lift other people. And a friend of mine who actually, she's the one that has a personal brand called One Big Life that I borrowed. She also says, let us elevate and put people in the position of greatest and highest potential.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely what you're doing in your organization and with your people. And I look forward to supporting you that in June and coming to the event. But that's just going to be the beginning of meeting these ladies. I think we're going to see an ongoing support structure for them so that they can take action. Because it really is, you can provide and provide and provide, but the individual has to say, I want this. I'm going to take
Absolutely.
action. And
Absolutely.
that's, people say your motivation. I said, "No, I'd rather be considered inspirational,
Mhm.
because motivation means I'm pouring in, you're hearing, right?
Mhm.
Inspiration, it comes from within. People that are inspired take action that can continue forward in an ongoing basis. So
Yeah, that's so good. It's so good. And I can definitely tell you that you are an inspiration to our generation, to women near and far. And so from Clubhouse, sometimes I listen to you in Clubhouse, I go to your YouTubes, and I'm just blessed by what you have shared. And so the women are going to come, they register, and when they come hungry, ready with their, I told them, bring your notepads, because she's going to be sharing so much wisdom and so much value that you want to be able to go back and look at it and feed on it again and again and again, and then make decisions to move. Don't just get the information and sit down. There's so many people that are, as I said earlier, that are sitting with a lot of head knowledge, but we really want to take action so that we can become fruit that will remain. And then you'll be able to look back and say, hey, yeah, I made an impact in the city of Milwaukee, and those women are doing it. I'm telling you, we're going to do it, Sharon. We're going
I,
to.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm getting myself ready, and I'm thinking, what else can we do to just ignite? Talk about so many people say, they see the light at the end of the tunnel. I go, stop it, because that means you're giving up your power. You're waiting for your shining night, or waiting for that light to come to you. I
Wow.
want people to ignite their own light. They become a beacon of light. And in doing so, they'll attract others who want to emulate them. And so we're going to bring a lot of light to Wisconsin.
And that's so good for women because sometimes we do give our power. A lot of times women are giving up their power to others. And I think that this generation of women that's coming up now, we understand that the power does rest within us to bring change to our city, to our families, to the nation, and into the world at large. And so that's one of the reasons that it's so critical to me to be able to empower women and help them know you can make money, you can be well, you can have a holistic life. We don't want one-dimensional prosperity. We want whatever we're doing, we want it to come for our whole life. I want to be rich in mindset. I want to be rich in my physical body. I want to be rich in my bank account. I want to be rich in my relationships. I don't want people talk about the new currency is relationships. I'm like, that's always been the currency as far as I'm concerned. But I want it all to be good. And that takes work and intentionality. And so you have to get yourself in a place where you can receive what's needed. And a lot of times women don't know where to go to get what they need. And so that's why I'm always trying to bring in the best of the best so that our women can receive, because a lot of women, may not be able to afford to fly someplace and pay the kind of money that would be required of them to pay. But if I could just get you here, if I can just get you here to begin to pour into the lives of these women, I know that it'll be a game changer. And one day they will be able to show up at an event where they've paid whatever it is, the price is to pay to be there. And so, yeah, this is an exciting time, but it's a very strategic time for me. And I just really feel passionate and feel called to help women get to the place that they've been called to be. And so I'm on a mission. And so I'm glad to have you a part of this journey with me, Sharon. Really am.
Well, I think everybody watching and listening has absolutely engaged and see that you are a woman on a mission, and you're on a mission with a huge heart. And I love that you talked about not one-dimensional prosperity. That's fantastic. I love that term. And, really understanding to live a life of abundance in all aspects of your life. So I'm excited to see what happens and just imagine the possibilities.
Yeah.
So you're going to hang out with me for a little bit, Melva, because we're going to have another interview in the private Facebook group, Play Big Movement. So all of you watching and listening, if you're not a member of that Facebook group, please join us and hear the rest of Melva's story. But rewind, listen to this, and stand a little taller. Realize the words of wisdom that you heard from Melva, incorporate them, internalize them, and share them with others. Share this podcast with people that might need to hear it, particularly women that might be single moms that just need to feel a little bit of hope. And Melva, you're fantastic. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you being with me today.
Thanks.
And any last words for our folks watching and listening?
Well, just for the ladies that may be out there, and even the gents, that no matter what we've gone through, that we can take, don't mean to sound like a cliche, but you really can take the lemons that life has thrown at you and make lemonade out of it. It's all in the way you see it. Be great because it's in you to be great. And, that's what I would say, that you can start again and you can make life better. And
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
You are fantastic. Thank you so much. And for all of you watching and listening, this has been an incredible podcast. So please enjoy it, rewind, listen to it again, share it with your friends who need to hear it, and know that you are fabulous. And thank you for watching and listening to this episode of the Play Big Movement podcast with Sharon Lechter. Have an incredibly blessed day. Thank you for listening to this segment of the Play Big Movement podcast. Please subscribe to iTunes and leave us a review, as well as join us in other areas of social media, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Sharon Lechter, and for Facebook, author Sharon Lechter. Thank you so much and have a fabulous day.